Buckle your seatbelt because in this video, we're going to be learning from two different creators who are earning money on YouTube in 7 different ways. In fact, we're going to be talking about 7 different ways to earn $1,000 on YouTube. And also, we have a special clip from one of today's top YouTube creators on why now is the best time to be a content creator going into 2023. In fact, we're going to kick it off and start with that. If you haven't heard of Valuetainment before, Valuetainment is getting about 12 million views a month, almost 4 million subscribers. And recently I sat down with Patrick Bet-David and the founder of Valuetainment to learn about his perspective on why now is the best time to be a content creator. And you know, there's a lot happening in the world. There's a looming recession. There's different fears in the economy. The stock market is down. But one of the things that Patrick Bet-David, PBD for short, said was actually one of the ways to hedge against the recession, how to be recession proof, is actually to join the creator economy. And so let's listen to his perspective really quick, and then we're going to get into the main content. What is your advice for entrepreneurs, content creators right now, those that want to prepare and position themselves? What are a few moves they can make to be very serious about right now?
I mean, for content creators, COVID and the shutdown was great for content creators. Meet Kevin came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden he had 1.5 million. Graham Stephan went from, I don't know, he was at 400,000 or 500,000 subs. I think he's at 4 million subs now. You got a bunch of people that blew up during COVID because when people are afraid, they listen. So when people are afraid, they need to be entertained. So when a person's stressed out, sometimes they just want to watch a comedy film. They have no desire to watch a overly, scary, let me tell you what's going on with the market. Like, dude, I just want a break. Just make me laugh. So you notice when COVID hit, what went to the roof? Alcohol went to the roof. Beer companies went to the roof. Liquor went to the roof. Entertainment went to the roof. Tiger King became a celebrity where he's running for office now to be a president. Who would have thought we're going to watch Tiger King? 64 million people are going to log on to Netflix in the first 3 weeks and watch Tiger King. Who's Tiger King? So for content creators, if they position themselves right in areas that people want, I think it's going to be a very good season for content creators who position themselves the right way.
Yeah. So what is the big idea here? We're about to learn 7 different ways to make $1,000 on YouTube, but I want to encourage you. Now's the time to get positioned, to prepare now to be positioned the right way, to position your channel right, your video strategy right, your money plan right. Because during recessions, during the lockdown, and all the way back when I started my YouTube channel during the 2008, 9, and 10 recession, that was a time that eventually built to where Think Media is today. It's actually an opportunity for you if you position yourself right to serve people, mission driven, solving problems. And we're actually going to learn from our creators today that I interview in this exclusive clip that we are diving into. And so let me just pull up this clip that was prepared for a very smooth live stream transition and is no longer perfectly prepared smoothly, but I still have it. And here it comes. All right. How to make your first or next $1,000 from YouTube. We're going to be learning from some incredible creators, just kind of learning about their journey and their story. And so we're talking about 5 ways plus 2 bonus strategies that you've never heard before. And so buckle your seatbelt. And I actually want to welcome our guests today. And first, I want to welcome Plants and Lucia. Lucia is a plant educator and content creator on YouTube. How's it going? Good to see you.
Hi. Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
So before we welcome Jabin, tell us a little bit, when did you start YouTube? What has the journey been like? And a little bit of your story.
Yeah. Well, I started YouTube 3 years ago. I have a channel called Plants and Lucia, and it's primarily based on helping people that want to bring nature to their homes, but they're plant beginners, so they don't know so much about plant care, and they just want to learn more about nature and having just plants around them on a daily basis. And it's actually really interesting because I was there 3 years ago. I wanted to bring nature to my home. I was not super happy at my job, and I would just go hiking or go to the forest, and I felt just centered and calm with myself and with nature. So I wanted to bring that to my house, but I just didn't know how. So I just started learning by myself, and then I thought I would love to share this with other people. So I thought maybe YouTube could be a good way because I was learning a lot in YouTube too. But I just didn't know how to get into YouTube. So that's when I found you, Sean, actually, and VRA. So before I even started my channel, I decided to sign up for VRA and just learn about YouTube to see if it was a good fit for me. And that's when I learned that YouTube is a system that you can actually use and learn from to get to other people like you and kind of spread your message and get to the right people. And yeah, then fast forward 3 years now, and the community is more than 40,000 people now. And we're all learning together about plants, and it's really beautiful. So now I'm just very happy to be here to share with you my experience with YouTube and how I've been able to get some income also from this community. But not only that, also many other really beautiful things with the community. So yeah, I'm very happy to be here and share that with you.
Oh, I can't wait to get into it. I've got so many questions for you, and I'm excited to learn all of the things. And thanks so much for being here. But we also have Jabin from Postal Barbecue. What's up, Jabin? Thanks for being on.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Sean.
You know, it's crazy because we actually go back. Jabin, he'll tell a little bit of his story, but as a filmmaker, in addition to this barbecue channel that's now 51,000 subscribers, but we actually go back like over a decade. And I used to do a nonprofit called Think International with my friend Jeff. And we were at a conference together, and Jabin helped film, and he was doing photography then. And so it's been crazy to also be in this journey of YouTube and just see him, his family, his kids, and all this stuff. But Jabin, tell us about your YouTube journey and just a little bit about what you do on YouTube.
Yeah, so I started this whole YouTube journey in the barbecue niche back in end of 2014, beginning of 2015. And it really all kind of came organically because around that time I had one of my sons who was born with food allergies. And so we couldn't go out as a family anywhere to eat. And so I just decided at that moment, I always loved to cook. I always loved to grill. And so I decided at that moment, if we can't go out for food to a restaurant or whatever, then I'm going to cook the best barbecue that I know how possible for my kids so they can enjoy life and the flavors of life. And fast forward throughout time, moving to 2020, when the pandemic hit, it shut down everything else that I was doing and allowed me to go full time with Postal Barbecue and just creating weekly recipes for the YouTube world. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been a great adventure so far. And yeah, Sean, I still remember talking to you back at that one conference and just thinking and having that conversation about one day becoming a household name in the barbecue world. And so step by step, we're slowly moving towards that. And so it's pretty cool to see.
Well, and there's a couple, I mean, you can see a little product placement there. There's the Postal Barbecue original rub. And I can't wait to talk about so many little nuances and tips you have for us earning money. But it's also kind of crazy is you've been a part of like the generations of VRA. You know, we continue to improve Video Ranking Academy and still we're anyone who gets in, we're giving all future lifetime updates to new information. Back then it was called VRA 1.0. Then there was 2.0. Then we got rid of the 0.0s. Now it's foundations, and we're adding masters to it. That's coming March 1st. And you know, you get that when you get into the Growth Video Live Accelerator. So just in this journey, and I can't wait to get into all the details. And it's been cool to see that, you know, your race, your pace too. We're all at different times, seasons of life. You've been doing different type of work. And it's so cool to see that during the pandemic, you had an asset because you'd been investing in YouTube and that it's been able to be something that's helped you go full time. But let's get into it. And we're going to be talking about ways to make money. It's kind of our theme today. And we've got the 5 main ways that we're going to be talking about. And the first one kind of just has to be talked about. And that is YouTube ads, right? YouTube AdSense. And so let's start with you, Lucia. Do you remember when your channel got monetized, and what has been your experience with earning money directly from views on your videos?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I remember when it got monetized. It was, of course, when I mean, you get to the 1,000 subscribers and the 44,000 hours, and then you can apply for the monetization. I didn't apply right away because I was trying to build a community and kind of like build a relationship with the community in Plants and Lucia. But I remember once I actually got monetized and I started monetizing my videos, yeah, of course I started seeing a difference. It was some income for the channel, and it was really great to have that extra income to keep making the content. But one thing that I can say is that it is one of the types of income that I have in YouTube that I see that is great in terms of finances and financing the channel, but it's also limiting in the sense that you are not connecting with the audience with this type of income, right? It's just an ad that is right before the video or in the video. And yeah, I mean, it's good in terms of financing the work, but I think other types of income can actually help you get more than just the income and actually connect with the audience.
Yeah,
That's my experience.
100%. Like, it's kind of, sometimes we even call it like a tip jar. Like, once you get a kind of approved, it's nice. It brings in some extra income, but there's so many better ways, and we're going to be talking about those today. But Jabin, do you remember when you got monetized, and what's kind of some of your tips and thoughts about YouTube ad revenue?
Yeah, I think when it comes to YouTube ad revenue, it's probably the most common question people ask you because you're on YouTube, right? And I personally got monetized right off the bat because it was, again, back in 2014. There wasn't really any sort of criteria on who couldn't really be monetized. And so when the newer system hit with 1,000 subscribers and all that stuff, I was already past that. And so, but I remember getting that first $100 check from Google, and I was so pumped. It's such a great feeling. It probably took about a year at that point because, the channel was quite slow to start with. But for me, YouTube ads has really just been the bread and butter. It's the piece that, I plan into my budgeting, because it's going to be there. It's not going to be a lot, but at least it's the one piece that you can sort of rely on every month, in and out of the brand deals or whatever other source of income that fluctuate up and down a lot. It's your constant. Like I said, it's not massive, but it's enough to sort of make some planning, especially if you're in a niche that requires funds to purchase $100 worth of meat or whatever product it is. It keeps you going, sort of thing.
Yeah, I love that. And if you are new to YouTube ad revenue, officially, you need to get 1,000 subscribers, and then you need to get 4,000 hours of watch time within the last 12 months. And that's always kind of rolling. So it has to be within a 12-month window. Then that just makes you eligible to apply. Once you apply, it sometimes takes around a month to get approved. And so the good news is there are other ways to earn money even before you get approved for the YouTube AdSense program. And if you want to do a little bit of math, the way that they measure how much they pay you is based on what's called CPM. And that's just how much you get paid it's cost per mil, and mil's 1,000. It's how much you get paid per 1,000 views. Not every view you get will be monetized. An ad might not play. Someone might have an ad blocker, but however many ads actually play on your videos, like, that's rough numbers. If you got 100,000 views, maybe only 60,000 or 70,000 would actually be monetized views. And so a lot of times people's CPM will be $2 that's a lower CPM, 2 to 5 on kind of entertainment content. And then as you go up and maybe a content where the audience has more buying power, it might be $10 CPMs, 20, 30, 40, 50. In the personal finance niche or crypto and NFTs, it could be $100 Amazon e-commerce CPM. I threw a lot at you there. But if you have questions, we'll have some time a little bit to ask our guests some questions today. But it brings us to tip number 2, which we learned during RSP, review specific products, and that's affiliate marketing. And so, Lucia, I'm curious, have you incorporated affiliate marketing into any of your content, and what have you learned?
Yeah, actually, affiliate marketing was the first type of income, or the first type of way that I actually incorporated in my content, because when I started learning what my audience was looking for, because okay, my channel is an educational channel, and it's for plant beginners. So then I thought maybe affiliate marketing is a very good way. It's a good strategy to incorporate in, for example, two types of videos. I started incorporating it in tutorials, and also in another type of video that I also learned here with the Think Media team, and that one is best blanked for to blank. So for example, for the tutorial videos, those ones were really good because people are looking for methods to care for their plants. So one example would be, for example, potting mix. So how to make a potting mix for your succulents. I really like making my own potting mix because you touch the soil and you know what you're putting in the potting mix for the plant. So, and I know that many people in my community also want to make their own potting mix, and depending on the plant is different ingredients. So then I thought, okay, maybe this is a very good tutorial for people to learn about this. And the way that I do it is I just tell them the method step by step. And then I also tell them, okay, you know what? Now I'm going to teach you all of the ingredients that I use, specific ingredients, and why I use them. And this is very helpful because people are actually looking for this specific question, and I'm just giving them the recipe and making it easier for them to find the ingredients in the description. So then it's a win-win, right? Like people actually go and check what I used. And yeah, it's really cool actually. So that's the first type of video that I use with affiliate marketing. It's been really good for the channel and for the community. And the second type is another one that is actually like a list. So best blank to blank. So for example, today Heather was talking about in the session today about jumping into trends. And right now in the plant community, spring is coming finally. I mean, it's still a month to go, but it's almost here. And we actually really love propagating our plants. But of course, this is very intimidating because it depends on the plant and you don't know which type of propagation you should do. So for example, for me, I really like reading books about this. And I was thinking maybe a good video would be my top 5 books to learn about plant propagation. So then I solve a problem for the viewer because they want to learn about the methods, they want to learn where or what tools to use. And then it's also good because I put all of the tools in the description and they can actually find it, which is really, yeah, it's really good. So these are the 2 videos that I usually incorporate affiliate marketing, and it's been really great for the channel. And I also see that the community really appreciate it. And it's really cool because then they actually comment on the video and they're like, yeah, I actually tried that product that you recommended and it worked for me. So it's also a way to connect with the community, actually just suggesting the products and the tools that are going to be helpful for them. So yeah, I really like it.
That's so cool. And our definition of affiliate marketing is sharing the products you love and use. It's not like a weird pushy thing. You're here helping people and they're like, thanks. So they don't know. You're the plant master. You're the expert. You're the one. I look to you. You know, all I know for me is I kill my plants. Like, I mean, I don't intentionally kill them. I just don't know what to do. And so I have to buy new succulents for my office at the store. But practically here in the challenge, if you look in the description, you can see that she's got a link for a free trial of Amazon Audible. That's really smart. And that can, I believe you actually get a bounty is what Amazon gives you if somebody signs up for this. And it's called a bounty because they even want they'll pay you just for the trial of someone signing up. And then these are affiliate links to books on Amazon. And remember that if anybody clicks your link, whether they buy that product or not for 24 hours, anything they purchase ends up getting credited to you. And so what would you say percentagely affiliates is when it comes to your overall pie of what you earn on YouTube?
I think right now, I mean, it's not the biggest, but it's maybe 30% or something like this. So it's actually pretty good. Yeah. I'm still trying to find the best strategy, but right now it's actually working really well for me, for sure.
Man, I love it. That's so cool. Well, Jabin, you know, I remember early on, one of my favorite videos with you was barbecue accessories around Father's Day, which really ties in. And I think, friends, you could see these strategies, trend surfing, Father's Day meets RSP meets, you know, review specific products. And that was a video you made years ago. But what has affiliate marketing, what are some of the strategies you've done or stories when it comes to your content?
Yeah, so affiliate marketing, I've done as early on as I could, basically, and that was I was introduced to that because of VRA and you, because you start to talk about, how much more you could actually make over top of your YouTube ads. And it kind of just intrigued me. And so I started doing it fairly early on, and it's been great so far. I try to incorporate it as much as I can. I love what you just said about sharing the products that you love and use all the time, and having those as sort of your baseline of affiliate marketing links and things like that. Because I find that people look to us as creators, as influencers, people like that, to sort of glean what they might want, especially in their niche. And so if I'm using a thermometer, I'm always going to be talking about that thermometer, and even saying like there's link in the description for you. And it just takes them to that purchasing place, right? And then you get that commission, and it's great. How often do you have people that just say, hey, if you help me sell this, I'll give you some money? And it can really be beneficial. And so for me, like you said, that gear review, the Father's Day gift guide, I think it was sort of one of the first things I did to really begin to tap into that. And it's still, I think that was like 4 years ago, and it's still ranked in the top 6 results. And there's right there. I don't even have a hat on in that one. Since then, I've actually redone that video with new products. This is just last like a year ago, and basically exactly the same style video, just with updated products. And it's even ahead of that last one. I think it's actually the #1 search result right now for barbecue gift ideas. And all of those things have links in the description box, from Amazon to brand specifics. And the great thing that I love about affiliate marketing is, you may not make a lot from one company, but if you think about it like buckets, then those buckets, when you collect all of them and dump them into like a larger bucket, all of a sudden it goes up and up and up to the point where actually you can, cash that in for a good chunk of money every single month. And I've had months where it rivals and is even or above the YouTube ads, because in my niche, summertime is from spring to fall is a huge market, and so brands, people are buying more in those seasons, and they're using your links. I'll put them on my website, even with discount codes, and just kind of helping to reinforce that mindset of, you shop through this and you can even get 10% off yourself, or whatever have you, that the brand has sort of partnered with you with. Yeah.
Man, so many valuable tips. And what we're doing here too, what's really cool is we're stacking, because notice, once eventually you have ads going, then you also can have affiliate marketing going. But this is true multiple streams of income, because next up, we're going to be talking about crowdfunding. And Plants and Lucia, this is actually something that you have right here connected to your channel. Up in the upper right hand corner here, it says subscribe. And then we have your Patreon. Man, I know there's so many people here in the 1K challenge that are curious. What have you learned about crowdfunding? Do you like Patreon? What are some of the things you've learned on the journey that you'd maybe recommend if we wanted to go this route of crowdfunding when it comes to having a monetization stream for our channel?
Yes. Actually, yeah, I opened my Patreon last year, at the end of last year, the second half. And it has become one of my favorites, actually, too, for streams of income. And the reason for this is, when I think about a financial strategy to finance the work that I do and to grow this mission that I have, I always try to remind myself that the end goal is not the money. The money, of course, is the means to get to what I want to do with this community and the mission that comes from my heart and the passion that I have. So crowdfunding is a very good way to kind of like keep this in mind, because, for example, okay, in crowdfunding, you can have either a Patreon page, or you can work with Buy Me a Coffee is another one, or you can do a Kickstarter. So there are different ways to do it. In Patreon, for example, the one that I have, you can have either monthly memberships, or you can do some other way that your patrons can support your work by project. In my case, it's actually by months. And the reason why I really love it is because it gives you the opportunity to actually share the passion and mission behind the content that you're creating on YouTube or in other platforms with the people that are following you, and you give them the space to co-participate in that mission with you. That is not only financially, which is also a very great way to like co-participate with that mission, but for example, in Patreon, you have a space to share with them your passion and also learn from them and what they care about as well, related to your niche. For example, in my Patreon, we have a book club, for example, that we talk about nature writing and basically how to connect with nature and what it means to have a plant and what it means to care for it and what it means to have a relationship with it. And it's really beautiful to hear from them and actually bring their perspective, bring their passions, bring their ideas to the work that I do, not only with the financial support that they give because they believe in the mission, they believe in the work, but also hearing them and hearing their ideas and creating that community in that space. So I think, yeah, crowdfunding has been really great, at least in my experience. I love it because I get to connect way more with my community, and yeah, it's really great.
Man, that's so awesome. And that brings us to number 4, which is create something to sell. And so which one do you like best so far? 1K challenge. Which one do you think suits your niche, maybe your channel best? And when it comes to create something to sell, man, there's so much opportunity here. I mean, we're going to learn from some experts and their experience of so many different things you could sell. So Jabin, I know that it's also, I remember years ago when you were just kind of getting the rub started. I haven't seen it until now. You got the logo, and that's like some serious, like, it's like mainstream. I'm about to see it in the local grocery store. And so you have like barbecue rubs, of course. You can create things like online courses. So what have you learned under this idea of like create something to sell?
Yeah, so right from I once talked with a guy that's within my niche. He had 30,000 subscribers. He launched a barbecue rub line, and within like a year, he took off. And it really just showed the power of how a personal brand can leverage itself to compete with the big boys. And yeah, there's the rubs. And so after hearing that story, I kind of took it upon myself to look into barbecue rubs for myself. And over the years, I went from, just small batch around Christmas to friends and family to finally about a year and a bit ago, putting them into bottles, rebranding the whole channel, the whole brand, and getting them into bottles that would then be sold through a brand new website. And it's been great. Because every video that is created is now using my own line of rubs. And so the more people that begin to follow, the more they're seeing those rubs used all the time, which means that they're more likely to go over to the website for not just the recipes, but then to the shop and purchase items from me. And in my experience, having a physical product, because people look to you with this sort of celebrity mentality, they're more likely to purchase from you rather than, just a big box store brand that they see all the time because it's special. They've committed hours and hours of their time watching your content. And so if they can have a little bit of whatever product you have, it's for them, it's just something that's just more special than just that generic product. And so for me, barbecue rubs have been a big thing. I've went to the merch route as well, which isn't as fast of a growth thing in terms of sales. But with all of these strategies, you always have to start somewhere. Even if you only are going to sell 100 bottles of rubs a year, that's where you start. And if you don't start there, you're never going to get to your end result.
Man, that's so encouraging that you say that, because you can't steer a parked car.
No.
And once you start getting some momentum though, now it's about scaling. I mean, you got to sell one thing before one bottle one, some rub during Christmas, a lot of the biggest brands started in a garage.
Yep.
And it's maybe not our ambition to become a big brand, but to just start small and then scale and get better as we go. And I think there's a real power tip here, because not only so many tips, power of personal branding, people really do, they would rather connect with the person, and they would rather connect with somebody that is also, maybe you've educated them, you've helped them. They want to use the rub you're using. They're seeing the whole experience. And so that's powerful. But I love that eventually you built a website. And I think that's a power tip, because notice here on the Postal Barbecue website, a couple of things. Jabin's in Canada, so the prices are in Canadian, but up top it says shopping from the USA. Our shop prices are Canadian dollars, which means you can save even more. So he's got, you're shipping to US and Canada then, yes? Where will you ship?
Yeah, so I currently ship direct all across Canada, all across the US, even to Hawaii and Australia. I have a retailer now in Australia, and I just lined up 3 more retailers in the Western Canada this week. And so you talked about scaling, you know, start somewhere, then you have to scale. You know, I'm at the point where I need to now start thinking about, you know, large capacity rub purchasing because, you know, this year, 2022, it's not just about the YouTube videos and the recipes, it's about growing the personal brand, which again will reinforce the YouTube channel. And it's just a whole holistic cycle. And so reaching out to, you know, the thousands of different barbecue stores just in Canada alone, there's huge potential for sales just to increase and to get, you know, 5 new retailers every single month without even really trying. And so you start somewhere and you keep going one step in front of the other, and eventually you start crushing it and people follow along.
Started from the bottom, now you're here. But I want to go deeper. It's we got the rubs. You mentioned the merch, and so Teespring can integrate right below. It's a merch shelf on YouTube as well. And then you even have, you know, affiliate items, and these are all right here organized for people on the page. So again, I love this just because we're stacking, right? It's like now we're adding eventually, because you might go, well, I don't know if I want to create something to sell. I don't have the time to make a barbecue rub, or I don't know what I even would make. But you don't have to start there. You can just add things on as you go. And I love that Jabin's encouraging us. Again, it's about starting messy. It's about starting before you're ready. But as you go, more opportunity and doors will open up. More ideas will come your way. As you continue to learn and level up, you'll say, oh, wow, not only am I glad that I posted some videos, because now I have this idea, and you can connect 2 things, and all of a sudden another level of money starts flowing in. But I want to ask Lucia, you know, it's a little bit different for you. You've also created something to sell, and you're an education channel. So in your case, you offer an online course on plant care. Tell us a little bit about that and where you host it and what you've learned.
Yes. So basically, I decided to host a course because I was getting many questions in specific videos and specific topics that went more into details. So actually, the topics were light for plants, and I started working with a company called Retrieve. So basically, they do the back end and of the course, and then I create the content, and they help me separate it in chapters, and also they offer to translate the video. So if you want to, like, for example, Spanish, German, or whatever is your audience. So I thought that this was a good route for me because I wanted to test it. Also because I saw the need in my community, as they really were asking many questions that I could not answer in one YouTube video. So I thought that this could be a good way to answer their questions. And one other thing that I really like about creating a different product is that you give options to your community. So for example, if some people like the YouTube videos, that's great. If some other people want to get involved with the content and learn more, for example, in the Patreon page, then that's also great. But some other people may be like, you know what, I'm not ready to commit for a monthly subscription on Patreon, but I still want to learn more and be in communication with Lucia. So then they can get to that course. And the cool thing about it is that they can also chat with me. So then they have that service too, but it's only a one payment thing. So then you give your audience options and you see what they need. And then you see, okay, maybe for some people, the Patreon is going to be good. Then for other people, maybe this course is going to be better. So right now I tried actually with the light course, and then I saw that it was very popular. So now that spring is coming, I'm thinking about creating another course, and this one's gonna be on spring care. So it's gonna talk about maybe repotting and propagation and other topics that come with spring. And yeah, maybe then later create a bundle. So we will see, but it's actually step by step. I like what you were talking about, like step by step, just trying and seeing what is working and learning in the process. So yeah,
Wow.
this one's experience.
Man, I don't know if you're getting light bulb moments 1K challenge, but there's so much, so many nuggets in here. And remember, we actually have 2 bonus tips that are kind of outside of the box after tip number 5. But tip number 5 is sponsorships and brand deals. Now, at this level, we're talking about where a brand, it could be a barbecue brand, right? It could be a plant brand or anything in your niche. They want to pay you to make a video. And so, Jabin, what has been your experience with paid sponsorships and brand deals?
Yeah, paid. I like paid sponsorship deals because they're often very straight to the point. Um, like I just the last one I did was last weekend for us. It was part of a Super Bowl campaign, and it only took me like an afternoon to do, and it paid quite well. And like the more that you're in YouTube, the more that you become an authority in your niche, the more likely brands will reach out to you, or you'll make connections with people that are connected with brands, and those people will connect you to those brands for brand sponsorships, brand deals, and it can be a lot of fun. Personally, for me, I've been working with a company for the past year and a bit now as one of their creators for their channel. They've contracted me out so I have my own, and then they've like once a month I do something for them on their channel, and it's just a great source of extra income, and I get to promote myself while being on their channel, and then there's some cross promotion that goes on. It's pretty awesome.
So I don't, did you catch that 1K challenge? Not only has Jabin done some paid sponsorship deals on his channel, but as you build up your personal brand, you can get contracted to make videos for another channel. So now you're being paid to make content. Now there's cross promotion there. There's awareness with you in more places. That's so powerful. Well, Lucia, how about you? What have you learned when it comes to any kind of brands or sponsors wanting to work with you on your channel?
Yeah, I gotta say first that was very powerful because yeah, making content for another channel that hadn't occurred to me, so that's really great. Yeah, actually, one thing that I can say is that when I started thinking about sponsorships, when I was just starting with the YouTube channel and seeing like what were my ways and my paths, I thought, okay, sponsorships and companies only want to work with big channels like 100,000 subscribers or 1 million subscribers. That's what I used to think. But the more I've learned and the more I did this work, I started discovering that actually companies really want to work with smaller channels like mine or even smaller. So I remember when I was at 1,000, when the community was 1,000 people, 1,000 subscribers, I started getting contacted by companies because they wanted to work with me. And then I learned actually also from Sean and from other research that I did that companies really want to work with smaller channels and what is called micro influencers, because they see that we have a connection, a very intimate connection with the community. So if you build trust with your community and your the community and like the relationship is grounded in a genuine, authentic relationship with them, then first your audience sees it and they trust your word because you're genuine and authentic, and then also the company see it, so that's very valuable for them too. So when I learned that, I was like, okay, yeah, maybe I can work with some companies that also align with the mission with the channel, that also align with the mission that I have in the channel, and also are products that are gonna work with my community. So now that when I work with companies, I always think about this. Think about the mission that I have. Does their mission align with the mission that I have in the channel, and do their products are gonna be good for the audience that I have? And if yes, then of course I'm going to work with them. And that's really good, because then the community is also going to value it. And in the long term, it's actually better for the channel and for the companies and for everyone, I think. So yeah.
That was a really good framework you just shared too. When choosing who to work with, do I align with them? Do I like their mission? Will they serve my audience? Is this going to be a win-win-win-win-win? I think that's the ultimate dream, because it's not like we want to sell out or just promote something, but we want it to be a win-win. I mean, this brand has on as a mission. If it's right for the audience, if we trust in it, we believe in it, we also are being supported in our career as a creator or our YouTube channel. And so that was a really powerful framework, where we're going to do a couple rapid fire bonus tips, and then we'll have time for just a few questions, because I'm sure you might have a question or two. But this is a really interesting one that Jabin brought up as number 6, local grants, or just grants in general. So Jabin, break that down a little bit. This is definitely probably one that nobody here has thought about before. And so tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, so this is one of those things that I kind of just fell into. It was last summer. A friend of mine gave me a call and said, "Hey, I just got off a call from a local television company, and they have some grant money left that was provided to them in part by the government of Canada. And they asked if I knew of anyone that could meet some of the needs for the grant money. And so they reached out to me, and turns out a licensed old content that was already filmed in that prior year, and just repackaged it and sent it off to them under license, which means they don't actually own it. They own it for a certain period of time, and then it cuts off. And then that company reached out again this year when the applications came out and said, "Hey, you need to apply for this again." And so I was like, okay, it worked last year. And so I reapplied and found out like 3 weeks ago that I qualified and I was chosen as one of the 90 grants. And part of it is, I think it's like 6 to 8 episodes, 20 to 25 minutes long each. And the grant is 10 grand, and so like, the only stipulation is that I can't post those episodes on my channel until after it's been submitted to them, approved by them, and then I can post it on my channel, which for me is great, because I always have a hard time filming in the wintertime when it starts raining and snowing and things like that. And so for me, it's just this year I'll have content guaranteed in the wintertime, as I have a backlog of new content. And so it's great.
Wow.
So there's always things like that out there, government, big companies, you name it. It's out there. You just got to find it.
Man, that also speaks to kind of like having just that entrepreneurial spirit, because there's so many different ways. And, it's funny you bring that up, because in some niches, you obviously have developed your film skills, and it speaks to the power of building a skill set. Sometimes people like to travel. I mean, let us know, 1K Challenge, if you'd want to make videos while traveling the world. Eventually you get a nice camera, you maybe get a drone. And there's even another way. Here's a bonus tip that I don't even have typed out and listed. But you can upload your footage to places like iStock Video and places like Video Hive, and actually get paid for your B-roll clips, for your clips that other people can download and use. And so if you go somewhere and you film content for your own YouTube channel, or just for your own hobby or your own passion, you can actually get licensing. That's one of the things that Jabin just mentioned, where someone's licensing your footage, the thing that you've created, and it could be a way of creating another income stream. And so there's just so much opportunity out there in this world. But another one is working with brands in trade. So what do you do if, especially maybe you're early on and brands don't want to pay you yet? Maybe we'll have time for Heather to tell a story. She really breaks this down in other places, where when she was starting her homeschool channel, it was in just the first few hundred subscribers, she was able to get $1,600 of curriculum for free. But actually, they also set up a commission. If she sold any of the curriculum using her promo code, then she would make some commission, and they paid her to make a video when her channel was just getting started. The key was that it was in a specific niche. But when you really plant your flag and really position yourself well, strong personal brand, niche, find your niche, you can really get free products, and it might not always be in exchange of money. So, Lucia, have you ever had a brand maybe send you something, just not even asking you to review it, but if you want to or not? And what's been your experience with just working in brands for free products or in trade for free product to do a video for them or that kind of thing?
Yeah, it's been pretty amazing actually. It started, well, okay, I do plant care, so many big companies contact me just to try their products, and they don't tell me to make any videos or anything like that. Just, would you like to try our product? So they send me grow lights. Sometimes it's like $300 or euros grow lights, or soil, or things that actually cost money. So this is also saving money, which is great for the business, and also is extra money that you can use somewhere else, right? And at the same time, when you try these products, it's also an opportunity to see if this brand can be a good brand to work with in the future. So if you like the product and you get to know a little bit more about them, this is also very good, to just consider them as a partner for the future, and also for content that you would like to do if you like the products that they send. So yeah, it's been really great, and I actually learned from the products as well, and from different brands that I didn't know about before. So it's really good.
Man, it's so amazing. And hey, if you have a question about making money on YouTube or any of these 6, 7 strategies we've been sharing, post 4 question marks before and after your question. But Jabin, break it down. What's some free stuff you've got, man? Like, what's some stuff that you've been sent, just listed out, that maybe brands have sent you because you built the barbecue channel? So what kind of stuff have you got?
Basically everything for the past 3 years within the barbecue niche that I have has been sent to me. Either they've reached out or I've reached out to them. And, if I'm going to reach out to them, I'm not requiring anything. It's more money saved is money earned. And so, like, for example, this is 5 ways to make your first $1,000. Last summer, I sort of evaluated the channel and said, I need to add pellet grills to the lineup because pellet grills are all the rage right now. They're simple to use and all this stuff. And so I did my research and said, these are the top 2 grills that I would use in my videos. And I reached out to both companies, and the one that I liked the best got back to me and said, yeah, we'll send you this grill. I think it was like $1,600 converted to Canadian. And so right off the bat, I didn't have to fund that $1,600 for that grill. It's a great grill. And it's money saved is money earned. And if I had to go out and fund that $1,600, I wouldn't have done it. And so working with brands is great, especially if you're a smaller channel. This is a great way to sort of build up your arsenal of either things that you use or things that you need to make your YouTube videos run a little bit more smooth. And the great thing with all of that is you can always opt into those brands' affiliate programs too. And so if for me with this product, it was a $1,600 grill. They sent it to me to use just generally in the videos. But then I did a review video after I used it a bunch of times, gave all the specs, signed up for their affiliate program, and just the other day got a check from them. And it's just been sitting there on autopilot. And so you may not be making money off of those deals, but you're getting product in replacement of money, but then you're making money off of it, which is pretty cool.
So strong. Now, isn't there a story at one point when, for at least a while, you were, as a barbecue channel, getting even free meat?
Yeah, no, there was a local brand, the local company that said, hey, if you use our stuff and just sort of mention us, we'll provide all the meat. And so that was pretty cool. It didn't last for as long as I hoped, because, as your brand grows, as the channel grows, you need to sort of expand your horizons a little bit. But, that was a local business, and there's a lot of power in connecting with local businesses and local brands to start your first sponsorships or to get products. And I have friends in town that work with whole bunch of different suppliers, and just it funds all of the products they need for their YouTube videos, whether it's cocktails or barbecue or sewing and knitting and all that stuff. There's a lot of power in that.
Jabin, Beth asks, since you're in Canada, do you have a US and Canada like Amazon affiliate set up, and how do you manage that?
I do. You can sign up to really all of them if you have the viewership. For me, my two dominant places are the US first and foremost, and then Canada's like second or third on that list. And you sign up for both. They sync together, and you can toggle back and forth between the two platforms on Amazon to check your stuff. I think Amazon One Link connects those two accounts too. So if it's just a general link, if it's a US link, then it's clicked on by someone in Canada, it will automatically use that one link that's attached behind the scenes and divert that link to Canadian if the product is there. I could be wrong with that, but end of the day, yeah, Amazon US pays me checks, and because that's how they do it if you're out of country. And Amazon Canada, which is not a lot because our population is a lot lower, they give me gift cards because I'm going to spend it anyways. So.
Yeah. Man, I love it. In fact, Chris asked, do you get digital or actual checks? Again, there's all kinds of affiliate programs. And so Jabin mentioned, the US sends him a check across the border. You can sign up for direct deposit. You can also have checks directly to you. We actually here in the US, we get our UK Amazon checks physically, and our Amazon check, they do get mailed to us. And it's not direct deposit. And even to this day, there's some things that we still get physical checks from. We get a lot of direct deposit as well. I had a brand, we're going to bring Lucia on. I had a brand contact me to use parts of my review video and their product for their ads, linking back to me. My channel is so new, so I am more interested in the traffic. Was that a good move? What do you think, Lucia? Is that question? Have you had anybody that's wanted to collaborate with you or, be interested in your likeness or your content yet?
Yeah, so I'm just trying to understand the question. So the brand wants to use part of her review video in their ads, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We're just promising to link back, no compensation.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, putting the link back to her video, but no compensation. I think for me, when I was getting this kind of contacts from brands, I would say that the first thing that I would do is to look. If I already did the review video, that means I already like the brand and I like the product. And this could be a good opportunity to make an alliance with the brand and also bring people that are looking into that product into my channel, since my channel was small, maybe at that point. And then I can connect the two, right? So I think it's a good opportunity to work with the brand, but I would also try to connect with them, communicate, and see how it's going to work. But I think it's a good opportunity to connect with the brand and also with the people that are visiting their website, which, of course, if you're talking about their product, then maybe these people are also going to be interested in your content, right? Because you're talking about topics that are related to this product. So I think it will be a good opportunity to make alliances and look into the future and see how to build a path.
Yeah, I agree. I think that early on, saying yes a lot is a huge, this is kind of just a general principle I've learned in business. When you're just getting started, you actually kind of want to say yes to everything. Some things, like maybe you're doing client work, you say yes to every client. You have a lot of bad clients, but you learn a lot. Yes to every speaking gig if you get invited to speak. I remember I prepared for a couple weeks. I drove across Vegas for an hour. I drove to a room at this hotel, the Fiesta, and there was 400 chairs and there was a stage set up. And I will just never forget, they invited me to keynote speak. And I got up on stage and there was 5 people in the room. One of them was the event promoter. One of them was his wife. And the 3 people that came to the event in a room full of 400 chairs. And you can imagine, as I made a point, it echoed across the room. And I just, those are your early days where you're just showing up. You just got to say yes. And so you may, oh, they're going to use my likeness, they're not going to pay me to link back to my stuff or whatever, just say yes. I mean, early on, of course, do your due diligence, but when you're starting, getting the experience, building the portfolio, getting your stuff out there. As you grow, then your prices go up, your value goes up. The co-author of YouTube Secrets, my friend Benji, they have explicit details about whether to use Judy, his wife's likeness. They go, oh, you want to keep using her likeness for 3 months, 6 months, a year? That's going to cost a lot of money because she has a real brand, a personal brand that has gone up in value. So that's some of the things that I've kind of learned on the journey. But I would agree that I think just getting awareness out there when you're just starting is a really, really great idea. What could you do if you find out a brand is using your videos without permission?
Invoice them.
Yes. Just lob out an invoice.
Yeah, no, that's actually a personal story because like I got started when I started my video production years ago, my video production company years ago, it was focused on video marketing, right? And so when you have a video marketing background, you know the power of video. And when brands use video content, they can make thousands and tens of thousands of dollars in sales because of that one video. And last winter, I had a brand, I did a review for a company. They sent me the product for free. I did the review and then attached the affiliate links to it, all that stuff. And then probably like 8 months later, they took that review, downloaded it from YouTube somehow, and cut out my intro, cut out my outros, and put their branding over top of it. And a friend of mine who's also in the barbecue niche sent me a Facebook message saying, hey, do you know that these guys are using this video to run ads, like Facebook ads with? And I'm like, no. So he sent me the link, checked it out, sent an email to the CEO of that company and said, hey, I'm really glad that you really enjoy this review and you're using it on Facebook ads. However, I didn't give you permission and this is property protected or copyright protected to me. And so I'm going to have to invoice you for a sponsorship package. And end of the day, they did pay it. He kind of got upset with his marketing team. Fair enough. And it's end of the day, those companies, if they actually would have reached out to you in the first place, would have got a better end product because it's more custom to what they're actually looking for, that rather than just using a generic piece and trying to fit it into their campaigns. And so, yeah, I invoiced them and it was great. It was sort of an added bonus because it was like in December, right before Christmas. And that paid for all my Christmas presents for my boys. So it was pretty awesome.
That's unbelievable. That's super cool. One time, my likeness showed up in a Facebook ad, and all we were able to do was the ad just got taken down. They took a YouTube video to make it look like I was promoting a product. And so that's a really great question. David asks, Lucia, how did you manage your time with creating content for YouTube, courses, and Patreon? Any time management tips?
Yeah, that's a great question because I know it takes a lot of time. And one thing that I've learned is that planning is very important. And actually, Heather talks about this a lot. She talks about, I think she calls it boxes. So you have, what I do is actually have a calendar and I have a written calendar. I used to do it on Trello, which is also really good if you like apps. So in Trello, you can actually divide your activities and what you want to do, even by color. So you actually organize it with deadlines and everything. But then I discovered that for me, when I'm working in the computer, I'm actually working on the screen all the time. I get distracted. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to get my agenda and I'm going to actually write everything that I have to do. And then I actually just follow the plan. And I actually feel that when you plan ahead, when you plan your week ahead and you actually know what you're going to do in the day, it's easier first to actually do it. And if you get to the day and you're sick or you have something else come up, because obviously that also happens, then because you have a plan, you can actually interchange the boxes. So you can be, okay, so then maybe I can do this on Monday and then I can move this on Tuesday. And another thing that I can say is that I used to put a lot on my plate. So now I'm a little bit more, okay, you know what? I'm going to work and I'm going to work from, 8 to 6. But then I also have to limit myself in the activities I put in my week so I can actually check, and it's actually a good feeling as well. So that gives you energy to keep going. But yeah, I think planning is very important. Using an agenda, finding an app that works for you, or just your notebook or things like this. Yeah. But I would recommend that you watch videos with Heather about organization, because that really helped me.
Yeah. In fact, that's tomorrow's session. Do not miss session number 7, the 5-hour YouTube work week. Heather really, she revolutionized my life too. You know, I'm more creative bent, you know, time to me is not a fixed thing. It's more like music or color. It's just kind of a vibe. You know what I mean? Like, just what do we feel? The Think Media team still feels that way sometimes when I just kind of vibe in and riding on a cloud of memes and random chat conversations I'm having with myself while Melissa Caputo is actually trying to get things done. And that's horrible leadership, and I'm trying to improve. But all that to be said, Heather really helped me use Google Calendar, calendar blocking, planning ahead, strategy. And that's huge. If you're going to crush on YouTube this year, you got to master your time. You got to really be responsible and dominate your calendar, and you can't let your calendar dominate you. And I know a lot of questions are coming in. I'm excited. I'll stay on here a little bit to answer questions, but I really want to honor Plants and Lucia and Jabin. Can you just show your love and shout out a big love thank you to them? I'll answer a few more questions about, we have some questions coming in about brand deals, affiliate marketing, general things, as well as a few questions about the bundle. But as we sign off, Jabin, final thoughts, just kind of 2 sentences on, man, your perseverance. You've been doing this for almost a decade now. You're full time now. A little bit of encouragement for us through the ups and downs of being a creator.
Yeah, I always come back actually to something I heard you say one time, where it says overnight success takes 10 years, which really just points to the fact that this is a long-term game. If you're sort of going into it, like I have friends that are like, I'm going to start a YouTube channel, and they have these big projection numbers for like the first 6 months of their YouTube journey. I think you just need to go into it one step in front of the other. Do the best that you can in the season of life that you can, but don't stop. Overnight success takes 10 years. Just press record. All of those things that Sean has been saying for years all add up to longevity in this, because it is a grind. It is a struggle at times. The amount of times I've wanted just to quit, I'm sure all you guys have felt that over the years too.
So strong. And Lucia, how about you? What have you learned on this last couple of years?
Yeah, I'm just nodding because I totally agree with Jabin. I can tell, this is a marathon, as Sean says too. It's not a sprint. And I can tell you, in the 3 years that I've been doing this, there have been many times that I'm like, okay, why am I doing this? And I have to remind myself, because sometimes it can be difficult. It can be very tiring. It can be hard. Sometimes the numbers are not there, and it can get you down. But I think one thing that really helps me is to remember the mission behind what I am doing. What I am doing. What is my why? Why am I doing this? I think of the people that I'm getting to know. I think of the people that I'm helping. I think also of my personal whys. And that is actually what pushes me through. And sometimes I even tell Jan, if Sean, for example, or Heather didn't exist, if they didn't, I know that, I think that they also have this moment sometimes, but they look at their why. And that's why now I'm able to also look at my why and also help other people. So I would recommend that. I think when you get low, that sometimes it's going to happen. Just look at your why. And another thing that I would also recommend is to surround yourself with a community that is going to help you and support you in this journey. For example, for me, I know that it helps me a lot to go to the VRA group on Facebook, because these people actually are going through very similar journeys as me. And then we actually help each other out, because we actually sometimes comment we just post on the group, you know what, I'm having a bad day. I don't see the numbers and I just don't know where else to go. And then you get all of this support, because everyone understands, because everyone goes through this. So yeah, I hope to see you there, because we actually really support each other, and that really makes a difference. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Lucia and Jabin. Appreciate you so much. And thanks for sharing your wisdom and your heart and your tips today. I see so many people saying they want to rewatch this session. Lucia, somebody wants to have you on their podcast. And so we'll see if they can tag you or something there in the comments. But shout out some love for them. So I've got some of your brand deal questions to answer, but smash the like button if you got value out of that session. And I would love to hear the aha moment that stood out to you. And just as a reminder, both Jabin and Plants and Lucia are a part of Video Ranking Academy, and our best offer of the year is happening right now. So if you've been on the fence, if you go to learnvideo2023.com, if you know that in 2023 you're serious about YouTube. Someone asked earlier, will we be able to help you find your niche or your topic? Our YouTube Niche Finder course is included in this bundle. Somebody asked earlier, what about building my confidence on camera? Our camera confidence course is included in this. If you have questions about tech, we have our Video Creation Made Simple workshop. And then, of course, our core program called Video Ranking Academy. And so all of that's available for a limited time on this special price with this special bundle at learnvideo2023.com. And so this would be the time to jump in. And with that, some really good questions came in, though, just related to brand deals, and I wanted to answer those and give you some of my best advice. A lot of people asked, how do you know if brands are legit when they contact you? A lot of times, some of the Instagram DMs you get, like, hey, we want to send you free stuff, just pay shipping or some different things. There's a lot of scams that can happen there. One of the best things you could do is Google the brand and even look them up in BBB, the Better Business Bureau. A lot of times you'll find that there's a low rating. You'll find when you spend a little bit of time on Google that it actually just kind of is a scam. And so when possible, you want to work with established brands, and chances are they'll have an established website that you can dig a little bit deep into. A question that's been consistent is, how many subscribers or videos should you have before reaching out to brands? And what we like to recommend is you want to have an established presence. There's no magic number, but let's say you have 5 to 10 videos. It shows that your YouTube channel at least has started and been somewhat consistent. Another way to be established is to have a clear cover image, a clear avatar, a clear channel name, and even a clear brand. Consider Plants and Lucia. She has 5 videos out. They're all on plants. She uploads a cover image, Plants and Lucia. She applies for Amazon, and they go, okay, well, we have gardening tools and feed and all kinds of lights for gardens and containers for different plants and so on and so forth. It's a very aligned affiliate program, and she has a channel that started. Then it's a matter of getting qualified sales within a certain window of time. And that's just for the Amazon Associates program. But what I would recommend is being established. We talk about this in depth in our program called Video Ranking Academy. But that would be my best advice, is get a little bit of momentum, be established, there's no reason really to apply day one, because you're not going to have enough traffic anyways. What is enough traffic? That means views. That would be, I don't know, 50 to 100 views a video would be a good time to start. But I also don't want to limit this one. Why? Because remember, Heather Torres reached out to the curriculum company that her and her husband Isaiah would normally spend $1,600 a year on purchasing curriculum, and was like, hey, would you consider doing some kind of a brand collaboration? She initiated that conversation by sending an email. And practically, I believe she was under 2,000 subscribers at the time. So you could do it smaller than that, but she wasn't gigantic, wasn't crazy momentum. But here's a huge key to brand deals. It was homeschool moms. It was a very specific channel, a specific niche. If you were just posting a bunch of random YouTube shorts and you got to 2,000 subscribers, but you email a brand and they're like, I don't even understand what your channel is about. They might give you something to promote. They may do something with you, but you're going to be in your place of power on YouTube. If you figured out your clear niche, you figured out a clear brand, a clear topic, you don't need a huge audience. We call these micro influencers. You need the right audience that brand wants to reach. And so that's what Ron has asked as well. I'd say 500 to 1,000 subscribers is kind of a good target. And that you could get going there. So if we don't have a niche, will the Academy help with niches, or do you have to have one at the start? Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that I really want to point your attention to is one of my favorite programs I've ever created. It's called the YouTube Niche Finder. It's brand new. It just came out, and it doesn't just cover beginner stuff. The YouTube Niche Finder covers some really advanced marketing and positioning things. Remember what Patrick Bet David said at the beginning of this stream? He said, if you position yourself right, you can do really well in any economy. That's really what that program is all about, so that you're positioned right at the intersection of what you're passionate about, at the intersection of what you're proficient at, and also at the intersection of what is going to be most profitable. And so we will walk you through that process in that program. Finally, lots of questions on how do you know if brands aren't scams. Google it. Definitely Google it. How do you go about approaching companies? Also, what do you reply with when someone says, what do you have in mind? Sean, reach out. Here's a couple final tips as we land the plane. Hit like if you've been getting value today. And Twitter, you ready for a hack? Build out your LinkedIn account and figure out somebody working at the company you want to reach out to. Figure out who the marketing director is on LinkedIn. Figure out who, like, there may be a director of brand deals, but it could just be their CMO, chief marketing officer, or a marketing assistant. You just want to get in touch with the real human at the company. So you could use LinkedIn. I like to tweet companies. They're probably not following me. So I got a monitor a while back because I had a canned tweet, meaning, what does canned mean? There's canned responses in Gmail. It means you write out the text one time, save it. So what I said was, I was like, hey, Asus, hey, ViewSonic on Twitter, and you @reply the brand. I said, I'm a tech YouTuber. Do you ever work with like YouTube creators? Let me know. And what will happen is I'll either get ignored, or they follow me and DM me, or they reply publicly and they say, fill out this form. You also could go to people's websites, and there's a lot of times a form there, Sean, where there is a form on a brand's website, and then you select why you're reaching out. Do you have a customer service question? Is it marketing and PR? And you just say why you're reaching out. And one of the biggest things to know, no matter how big or small you are, is everybody's really busy, and you should assume that your contact reach out is going to be missed, not ignored. This is a killer mentality that you need to have. Everybody lock in with me on this one. Even if they are ignoring you, I want you to assume they just didn't see it, and to keep reaching out periodically until someone officially says no. Now, don't be a weird stalker. If someone says, please stop emailing me, you should stop emailing them. Come on, ladies. You had a guy, you're like, stop calling me, and he's still calling you. That's no-go stalker moves right there. But if they haven't said stop emailing, assume they didn't see it. It might be going to junk. It might be going to spam. There might have just been a rotation of staff. The former marketing director is no longer there, whatever. So that's why I will here's a tip, create a Google Sheet, which is like an Excel spreadsheet. You can use Google Sheets for free, of just like the different brands and people you potentially want to reach out, and then just rotate through it. Tweet them once a quarter, email them once a quarter, email them, reach out on LinkedIn and check in periodically. Because what will end up happening is they won't be like, oh yeah, I was ignored. They're like, oh, I never saw it. They're like, you caught me at the right time. That's the same is true for you. You got DMs coming at you. You got emails coming at you. You subscribe to that, that clothing store, and they're still emailing you, and you subscribe to that text message, you're getting hit with all kinds of stuff. So it's just like, we're living in a noisy world. The mentality you just want to have is follow-up. The fortune is in the follow-up. You want to have a consistent follow-up mentality that does not rude. And the only time it becomes rude is when they go, we do not want to work with you, or we're not working with YouTube creators right now. Well, then don't keep emailing them. But if they ignore you, they're not ignoring you. They missed it. And so, Sean, the key is not just reaching out in an appropriate way, but also doing it consistently. Too many people emailed 3 brands and they're like, there's no brand deals. You got to email 300 and then tell me there's no brand deals, because you'll get replies. And then when you have a reply, Sean, you got to get creative. And that's why I want to invite you, if you or anybody else is serious, you should join this program, because the key is you are the leader. Like, what do you say? If they say, what do you have in mind? If you have nothing in mind, you're the creative director. It's your tube, like your tube channel, your YouTube channel. is you should be thinking, hey, okay, I'm going to integrate you into my video podcast. Hey, I could make a video for you that highlights your product. Hey, I could shout out your product as an ad read. And if all this stuff sounds kind of overwhelming, we're here for you to help you go to another level. That's what Learn Video 2023 is all about. Like, this is real, as you can see. We just talked about 7 ways to make $1,000, but Jabin and Lucia, they're making way more than that. That's just a starting point. If you want to really join the creator economy and make this a career, if you want to eventually go part-time, full-time doing this, if you want to figure out not just how to make a decent living, but really make a significant income, a 6-figure income, a 7-figure income, like, we go into depth in that. And you're going to be learning from a faculty that has the real experience, as some people say, the real receipts. In fact, just as a reminder, as we land the plane today, this full-time creator course, the red one in the upper right-hand corner, that is just an extra bonus that's only available, though, until the end of the challenge. And so on October 28th at midnight, you could still get the savings of everything else here, but you can get that additional course, which is a 2-day event where we went deep, and the Think Media team recorded our step-by-step tactics for what is the shortest path to going full-time, to the point of, what do I say after a brand responds to me? We got you. You're going to learn everything you need to know inside of this program and so much more. And you may have a lot of questions. So just head over to learnvideo2023.com. If you happen to be watching this stream on, YouTube, we're taking these evening streams, putting them on the podcast channel. Thanks for being here. If you could hit the like button, that'd mean the world to me if you learned some stuff today. But check out the YouTube description or go to learnvideo2023.com to see this. And if you've been in the challenge, remember, tomorrow is our final session. By the way, there is still time to join the challenge at tube1kchallenge.com. You're not going to want to miss not just the last session, but also the replays are only up for a couple more days to catch up on any sessions that you miss. But head over to learnvideo2023.com, where myself, the Think Media team, can connect with you if you have any questions about the bundle. And now is definitely the time. I'll see you tomorrow. Stella, thank you for being here. Georgette says, I learned so much. I appreciate you. Super grateful for you. And thank you, David, for shouting out VRA. There is a lot of info in VRA. And there's a lot more than just VRA included in this bundle. So super grateful that you are seeing the value inside of that. Remember that this is backed by our 30-day Think Media satisfaction guarantee. Like, I believe so much in this program that if you take a chance and you invest in this, you're not going to be disappointed. Whether it's 29 minutes from now or 29 days from now, if for any reason you would just say, Sean, I'm not happy, this isn't quite what I thought it was, we'll give you a full refund. I know that this program is going to give you everything that you need to thrive and succeed on YouTube. You're going to find that it's worth 50 to 100 times more than the low price discount that we have available right now at learnvideo2023.com. So take the leap, jump inside of the program. You can read all of these details over there. And David, thanks for your kind words. Super pumped that you are a part of the community. And thank you, everyone, for being here today. We'll see you on session number 7 tomorrow. Click or tap the screen for another video from the Think Media podcast channel. And until then, keep